maybe, just maybe, it'll start happening again. I don't know. Only way to find out is just to keep going, keep pushing, and keep believing. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. You know what that song's from? Come on, somebody's got to know. You can't have regrets for the bad things that happen to you. They're just as important as the good things. I've learned way more from my mistakes than I have from my success. I said Hollywood would die the day I pulled out of town.
We're good. You got your seatbelt on? Seatbelts? Seatbelts!
But don't ever miss an opportunity to call someone out for being a dick. I wasn't the one who started this bullshit, but I will do what it takes to end it. Lucky Charms, man. It's a double rainbow. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to make a wish? Maybe this means my cancellation is over. My cancellation was targeted. It was targeted to ruin me. It was targeted to ruin my business. I mean, heck, my business partner got me too'd. He got taken out on a extreme level. And that was attempted to be done to me. The only reason it didn't happen to me was because I had an old friend who was asked if she could help, if she would go along with the story. And she said no, because she knew I didn't deserve it. She knew it was to seek revenge. Now, it's hard to believe that another individual would go to such lengths to ruin a person's life because they were angry. But this is the world we live in. It was like suddenly I was on this list of men who needed to be eliminated, who needed to be ostracized and erased because another person was caught stealing from a very well-known and beloved person. And I was the person who caught them stealing. Not on purpose, not because I was trying to sabotage anything, but because I was asked to help. I don't know if my partner being Me Too'd came before I uncovered the theft that was going on, or if I uncovered the theft first. I don't know. At this point, it doesn't really matter, does it? What matters is a lot of people lost a significant amount of their life, their money, their time, their effort. And the fact that we were already in an already spiraling, divisive time period of eliminating Trump supporters, it was an easy target. It was easy to do to me. I was called a drug addict. I was called a domestic abuser. Nobody could Me Too me. Nobody could accuse me of anything like my business partner got accused of, because that's not me. I have relationships and am intimate with the person that I'm with, that I'm married to, that I'm dating, whatever. I wasn't a cheater. I wasn't a philanderer. I wasn't the kind of person who does things or chooses to do things that would harm my reputation, because that's not me. It would have been very difficult to take me out with some sort of a Me Too cancellation, but it was attempted. Thank goodness. I had an ex-girlfriend stand up and just say, no, you're not doing that to him, because that's not him. I had been in the right place at the right time so many times in my life. I guess you're due every once in a while to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm a risk taker. I always have been. I've been able to take risk and manage my emotions to perform while taking risk in ways that maybe others can't. And because of that, there have been people jealous of me. There have been people envious of me. And I understand that. It's probably not the first time somebody's wanted to just see me knocked down. I've been dealing with this my entire life. I can't just sit down and pretend like none of this ever happened. One, that's not going to be me. Again, I have to be genuinely myself, or I don't know what else to be. Whether we're divided along political lines, racial lines, gender lines, whatever it is, we're all still divided. My neighbors still won't even talk to me. I think they were upset that I got remarried. And by getting remarried, I ended up having to sell my house because of what happened during that, which moved my kids away from the neighborhood, which they only helped me in my first divorce protect me against some of the accusations, because they did. They helped protect me against the accusations that my kid's mother was putting out there in an attempt to hurt me. And they were really struggling with doing that. I could tell that at least Kathy was really struggling with protecting me from that. But she knew that the accusations were false. And then when we moved out of there, it was just over. They never wanted to see me again. Then it just became about Trump. Okay, he doesn't support Trump. And that's when the real divisive, Trump got impeached. And then that, we just, okay, let's keep it going. Cancel culture. Let's just keep eliminating the men who are the leaders in the communities who support Trump. And let's just keep spinning this rhetoric up and keep going with this message. And that's where we're still at. And a lot of people are holding their ground. And, there's probably a number of people who still are, I wouldn't say intimidated about speaking with me, but they just don't want the drama. Okay, he was canceled. Maybe you heard it was about Trump, or maybe you heard I was a domestic abuser, or maybe you heard I was a drug addict. Whatever you heard, it was all for the same purpose. This was all happening when I was pulling things off, like working 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, launching a business that we built. And it worked. And we got nominated for awards, and it was really hard. It was one of probably will always be the most significant achievement of my life that was just taken away. It was totally taken away from everybody who helped build it. One guy lost over $1.2 million, and other people lost, a fair amount of money because of games, because of envy, jealousy. But what about the people who were on the fringes? What about the people like my kids? What about the people like the golfer who had the money stolen from him? I'd caddied for him. He'd made a cut. I was trying to encourage him, give him confidence. Because I can spill that confidence over onto other people. And I know you know who you are if you see this. I am all about pushing others up. The collective group effort to make something better for everybody. Be a little kinder, be a little funnier, have a little more fun. That's who I am. While I may have not been a Trump supporter, when all this happened to me between 2016 and let's say 2019, when I saw Donald Trump get impeached the first time, that's when I started paying very close attention to what was going on. And I mean, I already suspected that something was happening that just, it didn't feel right. And when you are emotionally intelligent and have an observation skill that you know what's happening around you, when you can pick up on the most minute details of a person's expression or the way they talk or the way they're presenting something, you know something is off. You know that you sense the tremor in the force. And that was just happening more and more and more. And when my second marriage didn't work, it came in even hotter. My wife, or my ex-wife, and my new wife, they were friends. We hung out. We did things together. Parent-teacher conference nights with the kids. I was about the kids. I was so devastated that my kids were gonna now have to grow up in this broken marriage, this broken family. And it just kept going. More and more effort to alienate me from my kids. And I could understand doing that to a father who wasn't plugged into their kids. But I've always been incredibly plugged in to my kids. I've wanted them to possess the emotional intelligence that is the key to success. It is the key to success. Not college education, not knowledge, not reading the most books. It's emotional intelligence. Having the ability to read what is happening around you and read other people. So that is why I continue to do this, and I will do this, because we can learn a lot from this if we're willing to accept a little responsibility. I've tried for months, even years, to get my kid's mother to understand, look, for us to be able to get through this, talk about it, accept your responsibility, I'll accept my responsibility, and we focus it back on the kids and focus it back on helping them regulate their own emotions and understand what's real and why it's happening, and for us to refocus this back on the kids with love, with understanding that people make mistakes. Nobody's getting sued. I'm not going to hold her accountable for accepting the help from the football coach's wife and the golfer's wife in trying to destroy me. They were jealous. They were mad. She got caught stealing. Okay, the coach's wife felt like her husband should have been better friends with him and that he should have caddied for him on tour, not me. They didn't understand that. They didn't understand the connection that him and I had, the things that we had in common. They didn't understand the connection that we had, that what I was doing, trying to help them, offering them a portion of the business as hey, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to go out and win right now. I was trying to find them another option, a backup source for income in case he didn't win or place second or have something happen like that. I was trying to build him up, and all his wife was doing was tearing him down. I noticed that in our second or third meeting. She spoke to him like a dog. She criticized him and belittled him publicly. It was obvious why he was having a hard time believing in himself. And that is what I don't want to happen to any more kids, or my kids, or anybody's kids. If we keep gaslighting like this, we're going to lose a lot more than a generation of emotionally intelligent people. We could lose our country. Seriously. And the game of politics will hijack anybody's family if it means winning. And all of this eliminating people and swiping estates because somebody's a domestic abuser or a Trump supporter or a drug addict or whatever you want to label them as, it's ruining society. Completely and utterly ruining it. And it's all being puppet mastered by people that are way above our pay grades. Way, way, way. Men make mistakes. Lots of them. There's a lot of really dumb men out there. But women make mistakes too. If we're not ever required to hold women accountable for their decisions, and men are the only ones who have to hold themselves to account for their decisions, how can society work? It can't. We have to talk about the problems. And yes, there are a lot of global problems. There are a lot of big politic problems, but they're not all about Donald Trump. We need to start solving some problems at home. And the only way we're going to do that is through dialogue. Whether it be therapy, whether it be group discussion, whether it be personal growth, we have to keep trying. But we have to put the problem into focus and stop trying to focus on the things that distract us. The distractions will take us all out.